Imagine this. Scientists invent time travel, available immediately. Stop for a second. What would be the very first thing you'd do? Go back to yesterday to fix a mistake? Jump into the future to see if your dreams come true? Or maybe visit the past just to witness history with your own eyes? Before we dive into this fascinating scenario, do me a quick favor. Hit the like button, subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content, and share in the comments. Where would you go first if time travel existed? Yesterday, tomorrow, or somewhere else entirely? Alright, let's get started. So, let us say tomorrow morning the world wakes up and time travel is not just a theory in physics books anymore. It is real, tangible, and accessible. At first it sounds exciting, like humanity's ultimate adventure. But let's take it step by step. How would this change our daily lives, our governments, our economy, even our relationships? First, imagine the immediate chaos. Airports? Suddenly less relevant. Why take a 10-hour flight when you can step into a machine and arrive at any point in history or the future in seconds? Tourism agencies would be redefined overnight. Instead of holidays in Greece, people would advertise weekend trips to ancient Rome or honeymoons in the year 2500. Just think about how industries would collapse and new ones would explode into existence instantly. Now, let's get practical. How do you regulate something like this? Because let's be honest, if anyone could just go back and change yesterday, the line between what really happened and what someone wanted to happen would blur completely. Governments would scramble to create time travel laws. You'd need time police, time visas, maybe even restricted zones in history. Like, sorry, you can't go meet the dinosaurs, that's off limits. But it wouldn't just be about politics. Think about friendships, families, even love. Missed someone's birthday? No problem, just go back and show up on time. Had a fight? Rewind, change the conversation, pretend it never happened. But here's the question. Would our experiences even matter anymore if we could keep rewriting them? Would moments still feel special if you knew you could replay them endlessly until they were perfect? Of course, scientists would be at the center of all this. They'd argue about paradoxes. The famous grandfather paradox, for example. What happens if you interact with events that led directly to your own existence? But on the flip side, it could open endless opportunities for research. Imagine historians not just reading about the past, but literally walking through it. Or scientists jumping ahead 500 years to see what discoveries await humanity. Economically, the ripple effect would be massive. Currencies could collapse if people brought back gold, diamonds, or rare resources from the past. Imagine someone mining rare elements in the future and selling them in the present. Markets would be unpredictable. The lottery? Forget it. One quick trip to the future and everyone could have the winning numbers. Financial systems would have to reinvent themselves just to survive. And then there's the human side of curiosity. Some would go back just to watch monumental moments. The first humans discovering fire, the construction of the pyramids, the invention of electricity. Others would leap into the unknown future, chasing curiosity. Maybe even just to see how humanity looks centuries from now. But with that curiosity comes danger, because what if the future isn't what we hope? Would people return more inspired or completely disillusioned? Now think about education. Schools could change forever. Instead of reading history books, students could experience history. Field trips to the Renaissance, biology lessons in prehistoric times, astronomy classes set in the year 3000. Knowledge would no longer be theoretical, it would be lived. The younger generation would grow up with a completely different relationship to time itself. But here's something interesting to reflect on. Would people still value the present? If you could always run away to another era, would you still care about today? That's the real philosophical twist in all of this. The gift of time travel might end up being a trap, making us forget that the present moment is the only place where life truly happens. Of course, governments wouldn't let this go unchecked. Imagine massive corporations monopolizing time machines, selling access like a luxury service. The rich could buy their way into perfect lives by rewriting their mistakes, while the rest of society might be locked out. Would that create an even bigger gap between classes? Probably. And what about entertainment? Forget movies. People could live stories. Instead of watching a film about medieval knights, you could go back and join a medieval feast yourself. Reality shows could literally take place across centuries. Culture itself would be transformed beyond recognition. But let's not forget the biggest unknown: consequences. What if changing one small detail in the past created a chain reaction you couldn't predict? It might start with something simple, like stepping on the wrong flower, but spiral into an entirely new present. Some theories suggest alternate timelines would branch out, creating infinite versions of reality. Others suggest everything would snap back into place no matter what we did, as if time were elastic. And here is where I want to hear from you. Do you think time travel would give us more freedom, or would it be the beginning of chaos? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this debate is far from simple. Now, before we wrap this up, let's take a step back. Whether time travel ever becomes real or stays just a dream, the fascination it sparks in us says something powerful. We all have a natural desire to understand our past, control our present, and peek into our future. And maybe the real secret isn't about bending time at all. It is about appreciating the fleeting moment we are in right now. So, if tomorrow time travel were invented, yes, the world would change overnight. But maybe, just maybe, it would remind us how important it is to make the most of today. Because unlike any timeline, this one, right here, is the only one we can truly touch. And hey, if you enjoyed exploring this idea with me, don't forget to hit like, subscribe for more thought-provoking what-if scenarios, and share this video so we can keep building this curious community together. So, what would you do first if time travel became real tomorrow? I'm waiting for your answers below.